This staff member was his executive assistant who had a 55% increase in her salary over the course of 1 year. You see here, it's public information. From 2023 to 2024, she was making $58,000 a year. And then in 2024, 2025, this year, she was making $90,000.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a look at one of the most shocking stories in college football this season: the sudden firing and arrest of former University of Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore. Moore was once seen as a rising star in the sport, a coach who helped lead Michigan to a national championship and then took over the program in 2024 after Jim Harbaugh departed for the NFL. Over 2 seasons, he posted a solid record and had become one of the few black head coaches leading a major college program. But on December 10th, 2025, everything changed. The University of Michigan announced that Moore had been fired for cause after an internal investigation uncovered credible evidence that he engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, a direct violation of university policy. Just hours after his termination, police in Pittsfield Township, Michigan responded to an incident where he allegedly put his hands on his alleged mistress. Moore was taken into custody and booked into Washtenaw County Jail, where he remains while investigators continue to review the case and prepare for his arraignment. The news has ripped through the college football world, from fans to former players to everyday observers, and social media has been flooded with reactions. So today, we're cutting through the headlines and letting you hear what others are saying about this controversial and complicated situation. Let's take a look at what the internet has been saying about Sherrone Moore's dismissal and arrest, and be sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button.
The University of Michigan head football coach went from this to this in 1 day. Let me tell you what happened. Sherrone Moore has been a part of the University of Michigan football family for a minute. He helped lead them to a national championship, and when head coach Jim Harbaugh left to go coach in the NFL for the Chargers, he took over his spot. So yesterday, the news breaks that Sherrone Moore is fired from being the head coach of Michigan for cause, which means that they don't have to pay him. He signed a 5-year deal with Michigan in 2024 and made over $6 million this year. So that's a big bag he fumbled yesterday. The reason for his firing, he was sleeping with his co-worker. And to make matters worse, let me give you the official text. He was having an inappropriate relationship with a Michigan staffer. To make matters even worse, allegedly this staff member was his executive assistant who had a 55% increase in her salary over the course of 1 year. You see here, it's public information. From 2023 to 2024, she was making $58,000 a year. And then in 2024, 2025, this year, she was making $90,000. This man has been married for a decade with 3 children, daughters, mind you, that are all under the age of 10 years old. And his last daughter was born last summer. I turned on ESPN this morning. I'm not saying it's the most reliable source in the world, but I wanted to hear what their lead reporters had to say. And they said that Michigan knew about this months ago. They had HR investigate and they couldn't find any evidence that he was sleeping with a coworker, right? Now some damning evidence came into the fold where they had to fire him. Now this part is alleged. I got this from the internet, but it makes sense to me. Allegedly, he impregnated his executive assistant. And I don't know how true this part is, but allegedly he forced her into an abortion. And maybe that's what led him to double her salary. That's all speculation. Now, apparently, when he found out that there was a coaches only meeting happening without him, which means he was about to get fired, he had an argument with his wife where he threatened to hurt himself permanently. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I don't want my video to get taken down. Left his house, went to an unnamed staffer's house, wonder who that was, and put a knife to his own throat, and then went to a local church where he was found because his wife gave his location, like I assume his Find My Friends or whatever, to the authorities. People have been going through his Instagram following, and he follows a lot of questionable, baddie type of accounts. Accounts that a man who is married with 3 young daughters should not be following. And to make matters worse, the woman that he allegedly cheated on his wife is a blonde white woman, is also a blonde white woman that looks a little similar to her, to me. Now Michigan's got a huge problem on their hands because they've got to keep their really good players that are committed to come to Michigan and that are already at Michigan wanting to stay there amidst all this drama. A lot of people think the only way Michigan can save themselves is by stealing Alabama's coach, Kalen DeBoer, who's about to play in the playoffs with Alabama. And on top of that, a lot of people know that Lane Kiffin would have loved to go coach at Alabama, and he's constantly coach hopping, and he abandoned his team while they're going to play in the playoffs to go coach LSU. So, is it possible that Lane Kiffin does the funniest thing ever and abandons the team that he abandoned his last team that's playing in the playoffs currently for, before he ever even coaches a game for them, to take Kalen DeBoer's job because Michigan needs a really big name like Kalen DeBoer to come save their asses because this guy was allegedly sleeping with his assistant, forced her to get into DeBoer, now went to jail. And now Michigan looks really bad and they need to hold on to all of their really good recruits and players. What the fuck?
Listen, I am a two-time graduate of the University of Florida. I attended from 2007 to 2011. If there is one thing I know in this world, it is about college athletics mess. If there's one thing I know a scandal down to an athletic department. Sherrone, am I saying that right? Sherrone. And no, I shouldn't be laughing because why are you having a sexual affair with your subordinate? You have 3 kids. I don't even know 3 people. But you got 3 kids. You've been married to that lady for a decade. Multiple $1 million for a 5-year contract. Baby, I will slap my mama for $2,400. And you squandered your entire career. Multiple millions. One of the best athletic programs in our country, collegiate level. Baby. Someone point me in the direction of like the most accurate reporting on this, because I've heard about an alleged anonymous tip from a DoorDasher delivering Plan B. Listen, when we say reproductive rights, this is part of it. I think he was arrested for like some sort of assault. Allegedly may have broken into that lady's house. That lady has already had a boy. Boy, baby, I am tapped in.
Can you imagine waking up today, being Sherrone Moore and thinking, damn, not only did I lose my job, here I am sitting in a jumpsuit. That's the real life story of Sherrone. Sherrone had a prestigious position over in Michigan. All of that came crumbling down on yesterday because it's exactly what it is. He did not know how to manage himself. There's a young staffer at work. Obviously, he took her under his wing, I can imagine. They started having a relationship, a very inappropriate relationship. During the course of said relationship, girl got a boost in salary. She went from $58,000 to $90,000. $42,000 pay increase. I don't think her responsibilities changed other than doing a little back work. I digress. It seems like there has been a lot of sloppiness around all of this too, that it was DoorDash driver delivering a Plan B. That was speculated. People are speculating that this lady is pregnant. Paige is, I'm sure, younger. I don't feel bad for Paige because just like he was wrong, Paige knew that he was married. Fast forward to yesterday, he is formally fired. I guess he went home and had to have that conversation. Can you imagine sitting down with your spouse and telling them that I'm fired because I have no sense, I couldn't keep myself together, our income is done? Millions of dollars lost all at once. Seems like they got into it. He made some threats about harming himself, then jumped in a car and went over to the side piece's house and was brandishing a weapon and said he was gonna take her out too. Why you gonna take her out? You was busting her down and it wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem until you started losing things. This is a cautionary tale of men getting in their own way of their success. You were in a prestigious role. Here you are. You wake up in a jail cell like a common person because you could not let that go. You had to have whatever was in your face. I'm sure that there were several women that were throwing themselves at him. He just could not avoid the temptation. You got to do better. Sherrone, I don't feel bad for you. I feel bad for your children and your wife. That girl, she's gonna get what she's supposed to get, the backlash, because you decided to willingly be a side piece. It is just ridiculous. I will say that I am not a big football fan. Just having a conversation with my husband, he told me that Sherrone made some questionable comments previously, saying that he doesn't see color. We see what his wife looks like. We see what the mistress looks like. That comment tracks. It's a bad day to be Sherrone.
Because DoorDash and Plan B to the office for the mistress is crazy. My favorite sport is watching men lose hundreds of millions of dollars. It's my favorite thing to do. Whether they're giving it to me or they're just losing it completely. I love watching men lose money because men don't deserve money. Now, the current loser losing money is Sherrone Moore. He is the ex-head coach of the University of Michigan's Wolverines. Now, he was fired because he had an extramarital affair with his assistant. And the university started doing a little bit of digging, and they noticed that his assistant, according to these leaked documents, had gotten a pay bump from $58,000 a year to $90,000. They couldn't understand how or why that was even explained, right? She got a 55.11% fiscal boost in her pay, and they were like, well, why? Turns out they was hunching. And shout out to the Detroit Free Press, support local and public media because they all up in his ass. Now, according to the Detroit Free Press, the university had launched an investigation because they were like, okay, this girl's getting a pay bump. What's going on? Turns out this bum loser had a very mysterious DoorDash delivered to his office. It was Plan B. He DoorDashed Plan B to his office. And then he gave it to her to cause her to not have the baby that she was carrying for him. Now, mind you, this man is married. Pause for dramatic effect. So the only people who are really being hurt by all of this is his wife and his children. Now the University of Michigan is currently arguing that, or allegedly they're arguing that because of all of these improprieties of what he was doing with the assistant, they are seeking to not be able to pay him out his $14 million that he would have been owed. Men like this are losers. And I don't want to hear the, oh, not all men like this are losers. You ruined your career, you ruined your marriage, you ruined this girl because she had no business being in a relationship with you, but she doesn't know that because of the power dynamic. Duh. So I hope you didn't ruin her life too. And hopefully she has a prospering career outside of whatever y'all had going on. And you really just embarrassed the state of Michigan. Like, crazy. But if there's any other updates on him, this loser, I'm gonna keep you guys posted.
You're a married man with 3 daughters and you make $6 million per year and you just threw that away for a side piece. If y'all haven't heard this story yet, this story is one for the books. Michigan's head coach, Sherrone Moore, got fired for having an affair with a staff member. This man just ruined his entire career that he worked for because he's been with Michigan for a few years now. And this story gets worse. After they fired him, he went home and got into an argument with his wife about the cheating allegations. It's alleged that after he argued with his wife, he left and went to his side piece house, and this man had a knife, not only threatened to kill her, threatened to kill himself as well. Bro, you just went from being on top of the world to having it all to being at rock bottom in less than 24 hours. They found out who the girl was he was having an affair with. They also released her information. And of course, people are saying that she's to blame as well. And while that may be true, at the end of the day, as a man, you are a married man. It's your responsibility to protect your family and not put yourself in that situation. So the blame starts with him.
I can imagine. 6-7 months ago, I went through something very similar. So I know what that storm is like. Yes, and unless you've been in it, that's why when people say, this is what I would do, you don't know what you would do until you in it. Until you're in that pressure cooker, until you in the eye of the storm.
Yes,
until you in. Okay.
Please, at this point, y'all might as well go start a support group. You're not about to gaslight us into feeling sorry for a grown man that didn't care about his wife and kids in the first place. He's lucky that this is all that came out of the situation. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And Shannon, honestly, I feel like with your past, you could have passed this conversation up. Ocho Cinco could have done the talking. You're talking about something, unless you've dealt with it, like this is something everybody's supposed to go through. Please, this is not a storm. Okay, yeah, it's a storm. It's a storm that he created for himself, just like the way you created your storm for yourself. And for those who are lost, Shannon Sharpe was the one who lost his job earlier this year because somebody came out and accused him of rape, some SA allegations, and she was demanded $50 million, and I think they settled for $20 million, and the case cannot be tried again. At the end of the day, you guys are old men. Y'all are grown. You guys know right from wrong. At least Shannon Sharpe, he wasn't married. He was just careless. But this man was married and careless. So no, nobody is going to feel sorry for him. He's a grown man. Because when you continue to think with your penis and not your head, those are the results. These are the type of results that tend to happen. So it could have been happening for a long time, But one day, your time is going to come. It's going to be a very hefty price you have to pay. Again, this man was careless and he was reckless, so he should face his actions. For some reason, it's like grown men are allergic to holding other grown men accountable for their actions. And that's why y'all dummies keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. You play stupid games and you win stupid prizes. Hello.
Wow, those reactions were intense. This story isn't just about wins and losses. It's about leadership, accountability, and how a career and reputation can change in the blink of an eye. We'll keep an eye on updates as Moore's arraignment unfolds and as more facts emerge about the investigation. If you found this video insightful, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Also tap the notification bell so you're first to know when we drop our next reaction or update video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.